Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, thanks AIS and thanks Bausch & Lomb for providing this platform to explain and share my experience about this advanced laser procedure, including the presbyopia. Probably with this talk, I would like to focus on this presbyopic correction, since presbyopia is a new dimension opening up in laser surgery. And with, say, experience of around 400 to 450 patient, I can definitely say that I am getting a very encouraging results. Correction laser platform provided available on Bausch & Lomb Teneo. It's basically one-step procedure to correct the refractive error along with the presbyopia. So you can actually, along with hyperopia or presbyopia, you can correct everything. So Presby LASIK, what you are doing in SupraCore is you create a multifocal ablation profile which center for near, and you create a hyper area in the aspheric area in the near vision in surrounded by the aspheric optimized mid peripheral zone. So the center works for near and the mid periphery works for a distance and intermediate vision. So it's a bilateral procedure. The actual procedure creates a 12 micron elevated bump in the central 3 mm zone of cornea, which increases the depth of focus up to 2 diopter in this patient. Whenever you plan to do SupraCore or any presbyopic correction, the detailed history of the patient, for normally in presbyopic treatment, what matters is what you can provide and what your patient expects from you. So with normal history taking along with refraction and visual acuity, normally check for visual dominance also, pupil size also, because pupil, again, it's a pupil dependent procedure. So pupil size less than 2.1 as per the OPSCAN 3. So probably this case is not very well indicated doing a presbyopic in this plane. General LASIK rules, whatever is required, like say pachymetry, keratoconus, your topography map, any suspect, any abnormality with the cornea, naturally you have to deny those patients for any refractive corrections. Rule out the cataract. Normally, my choice of patient, the age ranges between 45 to 55 is I consider as an ideal age to do this presbyopic correction. Dominance, yes, because when you are talking about extended depth focus, so you don't want to compromise on distance or intermediate vision of the patient. And how it is different from, say, monovision, it provides you a good amount of intermediate vision also, and the distance doesn't get sacrificed to that extent, which normally we practice in providing the monovision with contact lenses. So before you select the patient for this presbyopic correction, the dominance means you prefer doing it on your own instead of being dependent upon your assistant. Similarly, so just provide the best corrected vision for the whatever best distance correction is there. Add 0.5 just to make him realize the potential blur he can exploit post-operatively. And the second thing is, and if the patient is comfortable, if patient is willing to tolerate that amount of blur, then your patient is a good patient for presbyopic correction. The same thing is, again, after for near also, once the patient is okay with your 0.5 blur, then add, if you are doing monolateral treatment, then add 1.5 or add 1.25 bilaterally to get the feel of near vision, what patient will be experiencing post-operatively. If patient is not happy with this simulation, then probably the choice means avoid doing SupraCore in these kind of patients. Hyperopic patients get very good response with SupraCore compared to myopes. In my opinion, basically, whenever you choose any patient for presbyopic correction, you have to understand the nomograms provided by the machine, and simultaneously you have to understand what your patient is expecting from you. Instead of my choice of treatment will be not as per the nomograms for the patient. Instead, I would prefer asking the patient, I'll give enough chair time to the patient, I'll understand his needs. And then accordingly, we can slightly modify the nomograms and provide a good post-operative result in this. So my advice to beginners for this Supraco treatment, of instead to begin with, instead of doing it bilateral, try doing it with minimonogen, means try doing it in non-dominant eye before at least 8-10 patients before you opt for this bilateral. Whenever you are treating, we all understand treating hyperopia, again, the regression is there. Certain amount of flattening usually occurs in 2-3 years. So whenever you are planning a hyperopia and presbyopia treatment, always my plan of treatment is, I normally, if the patient is having say +2 diopter, the best corrected. So normally I tend to correct the hyperopia around 2.5 diopter and then add Supraco to it. So considering the flattening occurring in next 2-3 years, you can give rewarding result to the patient post-operatively in those patients. And then the Supraco, the actual effect is lasting for more than 5 years for those patients. Same like as a hyperop patient shifted towards more myope patients. In myopia, I would prefer doing the wavefront of that patient, understand the spherical aberrations you will be inducing in those eyes, and preferably then I would like to modify the treatment. My approach towards myopic presbyopia will be a bit cautious, understanding the need, one thing, and second thing, if at all I'm providing say presbyopic correction in myope, I would prefer doing say a simple plano scan, pro scan in the dominant eye, and the non-dominant eye I would like to do the Supracore. So inducing the higher order aberrations post-operatively by doing a pro scan will give you a very good intermediate and distance vision, as well as the near will improve to a certain extent. And micro mono vision kind of concept can be very well induced while treating myopia by these norms. So I would like to discuss the cases in detail about. So this is one case, 36 years male journalist, came for basic correction for distance since he was high hyperop +2.5 and 3.5 and with cylinder, needs glasses for near early onset of presbyopia was there. And then when he realized, yes, this also can get treated. So we tried to experiment the same thing. We explained the patient how far, means we are doubtful because patient was having slight exotropia also. But then we decided to go ahead with the Supracore in this patient. So these were the treatment calculations done. And the post-operatively, the uncorrected visual acuity was 6.9 parts and 6.12 respectively. And the patient was both eyes post-operatively, near vision was N6. Individually, if you look at it, then we were able to provide him N8 and N6. A high angle kappa, you always have to keep in mind whenever you are treating hyperop patients. Visual axis centration is the normal thing. Whenever the kappa reading and everything, I focus while doing the Supracore treatment in typically hyperopic patients. This is a second case of 52 years female, and patient was very happy. So probably this LASIK was done with old Bausch & Lomb platform. The uncorrected visual acuity after 10 years was 6.6, and patient was accepting near vision of +2 diopter. Again, patient was very much convinced to go for multifocal treatment for presbyopia. This LASIK, I could relift the flap, and by relifting the old flap, we did right eye mild Supracore and left eye regular Supracore in this patient. See, the beauty of Supracore treatment is the ablation is minimal, so you can provide myopia, presbyopia, hyperopic presbyopia conveniently and comfortably to this patient. Post-operative result in this patient was OD 6.6 and N8, and the non-OS was 6.9 and N6. Patient was happy post-operatively. This is almost 2 years. The patient is doing very well. So proper evaluation and counseling for these patients and explain them the scenario post-operatively helps very well in treating this presbyopic correction. This is the third case, 52 years old male. I'm trying to cover maximum cases whereby I can show you the variety of patients I treated for presbyopic correction. Like hyperopia, this was the post-LASIK we did. This is the third case. Again, emmetropic surgeon by profession and both eyes +1.5. So right eye dominance. In this, we decided to do the mild and a regular on combined basis. So bilateral suprachor was done in this patient. And the post-operative results in that surgeon, this case also were quite rewarding. This is another case of 48 years old female, wants vision correction for distance and near. The tailor by profession, and she was having cylindrical, minor cylindrical number. In this case, we did the wavefront and we decided to treat. So in this case, basically what we did was we treated, say, planoscan or proscan in this dominant eye, and the non-dominant eye, we actually treated the regular suprachor. This another fifth case. So as I said earlier, treating myopia, when you come across the map, wavefront map, and if you see you are inducing, say, sufficient amount of spherical aberration post-operatively, so you can actually do a proscan or say planoscan in this patient in dominant eye, and other eye you can opt for mild or regular suprachor treatment depending upon the age and the requirement of the patient. This is another patient, 45 years old, wants distance vision correction, software engineer. Again, addition 1.5, and this was the scene. What I did in this case is we opted for doing suprachor in both eyes bilaterally. So I offered him mild correction in dominant eye and regular correction in non-dominant eye. This is another thing which I have started attempting in last 1 or 2 years. So the basic advantage in these patients sort of treating pseudophakic is patient that way expectations are not great, one thing, and these are mostly 60 plus patients. So even if you are able to provide suprachor at this stage, so patient will have a good amount of intermediate their routine activities without the glasses. The advantage of suprachor is basically being a LASIK procedure, we don't require any extra skill. As a LASIK surgeon, we are well versed with all the tech modalities, and so no additional learning curve is required. LASIK familiar patients are more comfortable with central presbyopia. Minimum corneal ablation, as I already told you, this actually helps, and this is suitable for both myopia, hyperopic, and metropic presbyopia.
Dr.
So
Garag,
being a pupil oriented, it's more of say physiological thing.
Excuse me, Dr.